When I was growing up, I grew up in a small town in Wahpeton, North Dakota, and I was the bat boy for our amateur baseball team. In one game, they were using wood bats. It wasn't really a league where that was something that they used, but for some reason they were using wood bats. One of the players had broken a bat, he threw it in the garbage, and I wanted to take it home, so I did. Took it home after the game, glued it up, put little hammered nails in the handle and taped it up, and sanded. I remember sanding the barrel down, sanding all the finish off and logoing off, and then I painted it, put clear lacquer on it, and that was going to be my bat to use. Basically, how I started making bats. I've always been a woodworker my entire life. Baseball's been my favorite sport, since I can remember. And so, coupling woodworking with baseball passions, kind of put two and two together and wanted to, see if I could make my own bat. So making a bat as a commemorative piece to commemorate my son's birth, that seemed like it was, doesn't matter if I make a mistake on the turning, it's not going to be used in the game. So I did, with the help of a friend, make a bat to commemorate his birth, but I got the itch to make my own, so I started making bats as a hobby for myself, and had teammates and friends in the league that I was playing in want me to make bats for them. So that led to, going from a hobby to sort of a business. And then 9/11 happened, so the company I was working for went out of business, so I was thrust into unemployment, and decided I was going to try to make bats for a living. So that's kind of where it started. I was looking for companies and people to help me really take MaxBat to the next level. And so I was looking for businesses, and Bruton was the place to set up shop for MaxBat because there was an existing wood turning operation here. There were people here that knew how to source wood, how to draw profiles for different bats and so on. So my business partner is Paul Johnson, and we have 8 employees. Most of them are from around the area. So it's just maintained its existence here in Bruton. The most interesting part of the bat making process is literally watching the billet being turned on the lathe into the shape of a bat. It's kind of one of those things you never get tired of viewing. Even though the guys that man the lathes are watching it, day after day. They're making 200 bats a day when we're in a busy season. And it just never kind of gets old, but it's kind of magical because you can kind of see that this bat that you're watching being made could be used to hit a game-winning home run in a professional game, or set a record, or end up in the Hall of Fame. When Target Field opened up in its inaugural season, I was there for the opening day game, and Jason Kubel hit a home run in that first game using the MaxBat. So the first home run hit at Target Field in a regular season game was with our product. So it's kind of a cool experience to be there and witness that. So part of our business is amateur baseball, but professional baseball is a huge part of our business. We need that professional market to help market our product. And so we fulfill orders for individual major league players, but we also have a lot of business with the minor league side. And so like today we're doing a big order for the A's with their minor league system. They order a lot of bats from us, and those bats then get sent to their different affiliates in minor league baseball. Minnesota has such a tradition with town ball. It's literally amazing. And I think sometimes if you don't, like, I have the privilege of going to these different parts of the United States and talking to people about their amateur baseball experience or what it's set up like, and they just don't have it like we have it here in Minnesota. Minnesota's great. You know, you've got these towns that pour their heart and soul into the, you know, little ballparks that they have and the awesome grandstands and the concession stands and so on. And you know, to me, it's a part of the community. You've got people showing up, you know, on a Sunday that's kind of their thing, to go to the town ball games and tournaments and so on. The state tournament is awesome. To me, that's important. I like that. Town ball is important to me. I don't know if I can really pinpoint it to one thing, but growing up, you know, everyone's got their favorite sport, and mine was for sure baseball. I played baseball every day I could in the summer. If it was raining the night before, I was the kid that was at the ballpark in the morning trying to scoop out water off the field to make sure it was dry enough so we could play. So baseball has a way of kind of exposing that child inside of all of us. And so to me, baseball is kind of like the fountain of youth. I want to play baseball till I can't walk. And so it's very important to me. It's just kind of been ingrained in me. It's just been one of my favorite sports. I know there's kids that are like 100% hockey, and that's their deal. But mine is baseball, and there's hundreds of people like me in the state of Minnesota. This journey is all about following your dreams. And it's very rewarding to me because I did follow a dream, I followed a passion. And I still get motivated to find that next player to use our bat and to have them experience success because we were a part of that success that that player achieved. And there's always gonna be somebody new. I mean, there's 10-year-old kids that use our bats, so they're the next guys that are gonna use it. So there's always somebody that we're trying to make bats for. One of the biggest takeaways for me with MaxBat and kind of starting this from nothing is just the fact that I did take that chance. What I'm proud of is that I did take an idea and a passion and something I was very interested in, and I combined those things together and came up with MaxBat. You know, I didn't get into it to make money. It's just something I love. I love baseball, I love woodworking, I love the sport, I love everything about it. And so it's just my life. To me, that's very motivating to me about this whole journey, is that it's something I love to do. You know, it's like I'm just doing something I love. It's like not even working, but I'm just doing it. And it's just the best. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Visit pioneer.org/postcards to catch up on missed episodes and to find out more about your favorite segments. This program on Pioneer Public Television is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. Additional support provided by Mark and Margaret Yakel-Julien in honor of Shalom Hill Farm, a nonprofit rural education retreat center in a beautiful prairie setting near Windham in southwestern Minnesota. ShalomHillFarm.org. The Arrowwood Resort and Conference Center, your ideal choice for Minnesota resorts, offering luxury townhomes, 18 holes of golf, Darling Reflections Spa, Big Splash Water Park, and much more. Alexandria, Minnesota. Explore hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for a great vacation or a place to hold an event. ExploreAlex.com. Tri-State Brain and Spine Institute, with locations in Alexandria, Edina, Crookston, and Maple Grove. Doctors dedicated to evaluating and treating all types of brain and spine problems, no matter how complex.